Welcome to our channel, $1 Million Made Easy. This is a channel where we help you know your numbers. What we do is create spreadsheets and just run numbers for people. And I ask for requests. I get different requests from different people. And I've got this one. Individual says, I'm 42 with 260,000 saved. Want to know if I could run his numbers with three different scenarios. First of all, not saving another dime. Second of all, saving $500 a month. And third, saving $1,000 a month. And he wants to know what he might have at age 65. Again, what we do on this channel is just use the returns for the last 100 years for the S&P 500, and we project ahead what similar returns might do for you in the future. So let's go ahead and run the numbers for this individual. He's 42 years old. He's got 260,000 saved up. And he wants to know where he'll be at age 65, which is 23 years from now. So what we've done here is this shows you the numbers that we're using here. If we had, this shows you the worst case scenario in the last 100 years. Again, the worst possible scenario that you could have had, and then progressively up to the best case scenario. Worst case right here, second worst in this column. This is what you would have 95% of the time if you kicked out the worst 5%. I kind of like to look at that, knocking out these outliers. And this is the median, and this is the highest. So if you did that, this 260,000 is very crucial. So what we want to do is go down through here. This is we want to show you at age 65 what you would have. Again, 260,000, not putting any more money in. If we use the numbers from 1929, which is again the worst case scenario in the last 100 years, he'd have 930,000. Second worst case scenario, notice what year that is. That's the year 2000. You may think it'd always be the worst case scenarios during depression years, but actually the second worst case is this decade right here. That's kind of eye-opening. In that case, you have 1,051,000. The 95% of the time, you'd have at least these kind of money, this kind of money, with the median being right here and the best case scenario right there. Now, if we change that to the kick out the worst 10% of the time, then you've got these kind of monies. But you can see you could have anywhere from this kind of money, 930,000, up to this. That's if you never added another dime, and the market just looking at the worst case scenario to the best case scenario. This is the range. Okay, let's go with $500 a month, which was the second scenario you want to be run. $500 a month. Now in the worst case scenario, it would be 1926 numbers. It would be $1.4 million. Second worst, 1.491, and 90% of the time we'd have 1.839 with the median being just short of 3 million. That's $500 a month. Now let's do $1,000 a month. Now we're up to 1.735 million using 1926 numbers. The second worst would be using 1956 numbers. You'd have 1.8 million, and you get how all this works. Now, this is just giving you numbers. What I like to do is start looking at what happens if you increase these amounts, or what do you really need when 23 years from now, from age 42 to 65. Well, if you need $6,000 a month in today's dollars, just to show you what we do on this channel, in 23 years with a 3% inflation rate, you're going to need $11,000 to have the same buying power as that $6,000. But if you did that, if you had these numbers, $1,000 a month, your money, even in the worst case scenario, starting out with this, withdrawing this monthly, you would not run out of money. But let's go to the zero one. If you don't have, then you start having some problems. If you have the worst case scenario and the second worst, you'd be running out of money at 80 and 87. But it looks like this 260,000 is so crucial that without adding another dime in almost every scenario, your money's going to last if these are your expenses. Again, he didn't give me the expenses. But another thing we haven't taken into account, what's he going to get from Social Security? Let's say his expenses are $7,000 a month in today's dollars. Then you got running out of money at 76 and 82, so you're still in good shape because that 260,000 is kicking off this kind of money after 23 years in the worst case scenario. Now, if you got up to really high expenses like 10,000 a month, then you're going to see the numbers really drop off. But he didn't give me that number, so now you got running out of money at 71, 74, and 79, but we haven't taken into account Social Security. I'm just kind of doing a little bit extra from what he asked me to do. But say, for example, you get $2,000 a month in Social Security, That makes a big difference. And your money's lasting until age 90. Again, he didn't give me future expenses. He just had me run the numbers. So that's what I did. I just ran it for 260,000. Again, I'm just reviewing this real quick here. Age 42. This is what you'd have if you didn't contribute another dime. This is what you would have if you added $500 a month. Oh, excuse me, I forgot to take the Social Security out of there. Let's go back to zero. This is the money you would have, $500 a month. This is the money you would have from this range to this range, and $1,000 a month. This is what you would have. Again, there's so many different variables he needs to take into account, what his expenses are, and so on. But he just wanted me to run the numbers with these different scenarios, so that's what we did. Again, because he's got this 260,000 working for him at age 42, he's got quite a bit of time for that to compound. In this case, he'd have 23 years for these numbers to compound. Even if he never added another dime, he'd have these kind of monies, even in the worst case scenario. But that's what we do on this channel. We run numbers for people. We love doing it. We create spreadsheets, run people's numbers, just share different concepts you really need to be aware of. This one, of course, would take into account Social Security and some other issues if we wanted me to run it. But we're just going to look at the amounts that he wanted me to run. Please consider subscribing. Please share this channel with others. I'd love to have this channel grow so people know their numbers. Please like the video, and thanks so much for watching.